I'm here at the Deaf Institute in Manchester and I'm joined by Alienblaze. How are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm very excited to be here, excited for your set tonight.
Thank you.
So you just did the Kid Brunswick show in London the other night. How was that?
Oh, it was amazing. Honestly, the crowd were so incredible. It was actually the biggest show I've ever played. It was just amazing, and the crowd were like, honestly, they really went for it. And I think it was probably one of the best shows I've ever played. And yeah, it was great. 10 out of 10.
What's like your favourite bit in a set, your favourite song to play?
Honestly, I would have to say my favourite song is probably one that I haven't released yet. But that being said, if I had to pick a song that I have released, I would probably have to say Not Yours Never Was, because on the original there isn't really that much guitar, whereas when I play, I add in like a lot of guitar, and I play the guitar and I play my Avenged Sevenfold Schecter, which adds a lot of like beef to the record that isn't otherwise there. So I'd have to say that one.
You are insane at guitar, by the way. I was checking through your Instagram earlier and I was very impressed. If you could guitar battle with anyone, who would you choose?
Oh my gosh. Well, they would beat me, probably. My guitar hero is Jerry Cantrell of Alice in Chains, so either Jerry Cantrell or Slash, or probably Nita Strauss, who is on the same label as me, on Sumerian Records, and she is just the most insane guitarist ever. Like, she has been such an inspiration to me growing up as like a girl guitarist, so probably one of those three. I'd probably have to say Nita, number one, but she would absolutely annihilate me. So
We'll manifest it, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
And what can we expect from tonight's show?
You can expect a lot of very heavy guitar. You can expect a lot of stamping, a lot of dancing, a lot of me going, I can't swear, can I? Let's go crazy. And I'm just trying to empower as many girls as possible to play the electric guitar. So yes, a lot of that.
Awesome. Brilliant. So for people out there that haven't heard of you already, can you give us a little bit of background, like how you first got started into making music?
Okay, that is quite a long story. Basically, how it first started was when I was 13, 14, I actually got very, very sick. And I missed about 3 years of school. So I kind of didn't do anything. And my mum used to play the electric guitar, and she actually had her old electric guitar lying around. And she just suggested to me, like, why don't you pick up and learn a few chords? And obviously I went beyond learning a few chords because I literally played all day every day to get really, really good. And I actually found that it was something that I was really good at and something that I was really passionate at. And from there I moved on to writing my own songs. Originally I never actually intended to be a singer. I intended to just be like the lead guitarist in a band, but what with one thing and another and people being flaky, that didn't really happen. So I just decided to teach myself to sing and record and sing on my own demos, and the rest is kind of history. I got placed on some Spotify editorial playlists, which was so fluky and so random that I kind of just was like, what is happening, you know? And that gave me a worldwide audience that I wouldn't have otherwise have, and obviously brought me to the attention of a lot of people, including my now record label. So there you go, that's kind of my story.
I noticed as well that BBC Introducing have really like championed your music as well.
Yeah.
How has that impacted your career so far?
Honestly, like it's been amazing, and like I definitely wouldn't be where I am today without the support of BBC Introducing as well. I remember Melita from BBC Introducing South. She has been playing my tracks now since 2019, which was the first year I ever even uploaded anything to Spotify, and the first year that I really actually like properly got started with music, because I haven't actually been doing it that long. So yeah, it's honestly helped so much, though. Thanks, you guys.
And what is next for you this year?
A lot more. Well, we're in
It's nearly the end of the year. What's next for you in general?
next year. Yeah, I'd have to say releasing a lot more singles and playing a lot more shows. and just really taking my music to the next level, because I really want to be able to create kind of my own sound even more, you know, and create this kind of genre fluidity. I know that we're all kind of moving in that direction now with the whole Misfits scene, and I think, you know, I personally find great inspiration in actually like orchestral pieces. So artists like, well, actually, like as far back in time as like Tchaikovsky, because I often think to myself when I write a song now, if Tchaikovsky were around now, how would he write a pop / old pop / rock song? And that was actually my inspiration behind Not Yours Never Was. So that's kind of where I'm trying to take my music now. I'm trying to kind of use that approach with every song. So I suppose that's what's next.
That's so interesting. Now that you've mentioned it, I can really hear it, especially that song. Like,
well, I like to like make it so that like every song reaches a kind of crescendo, because, you know, if you take any orchestral piece, they all build to this like big dramatic finish, and they all are very filmic pieces. So I always think to myself as well, like, if I was writing a record, what film would it be in as well, or what TV series would it be, like the iconic like slow motion walk, you know? So basically that is kind of where I get my inspiration from, as well as like so many artists from like the 70s, like 90s bands, like especially grunge, like Alice in Chains and Nirvana, and the 2000s, and honestly I could go on and on, and obviously modern artists as well, like Billie Eilish, etc.
And so if Not Yours Never Was to be in a film or a TV series, which would it be?
Oh, you put me on the spot. I'd have to say, honestly, you know what my dream one would be?
What?
This sounds okay. Honestly, it'd be the reboot of Gossip Girl.
That's such an iconic choice.
Because I have a song which isn't out yet, and I wrote the original inspired by the iconic Chuck and Blair in Gossip Girl. So I feel like it would be very fitting for me if it was in the reboot, and I feel like it would really, really kind of suit the vibe of the kind of the reboot as well. So that would be my TV series. And with film, I'd have to say something, I don't know what exactly, but just a film that would have especially like a really, really dramatic slow motion walk, like The Matrix or something. Yeah. So if there's another Matrix, yeah, you know where to find me.
Yeah, And I've got a quickfire round for you as well.
Okay.
What is your favourite song of the year so far?
Of this year, come out this year?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You know, that is really a quickfire round. Oh my gosh. See, then you have to ask yourself the question of what has come out this year. Oh my god. I'm just running through everything that's come. Oh my god. You really put me on the spot. What's come out this year? I would have to say, I'd have to say probably Billie Eilish. I know that she released TV this year, and that was obviously a very powerful record, and she always delivers every single time that she releases a record. I'm like, you went and you took it beyond every single time. So I would have to say Billie Eilish, which I know is obviously a very obvious choice for me because she is one of my favourite artists. But yeah.
Great choice. And do you have any hidden talents?
I can make clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's cool.
I can sew.
Yeah.
Hand sew. So in the lockdown year in 2020, I got really, really into high fashion. And basically there were so many pieces that obviously were kind of not accessible because they were like one-off pieces. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to try and make that. And I've made quite a few pieces since. So for example, there was an outfit that Bella Hadid wore, which was an entire head-to-toe outfit made by Wesley Berryman. And I sewed the entire outfit by hand using a pair of like upcycled jeans. And I'm not going to lie, it turned out pretty similar.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Do you make any of your stage outfits?
I do. Yes, I do. I haven't. This is well. I wrote on. Might have to blur this out. I've just realised that. But yeah. Yes, I have made some of my stage outfits. I think the Wesley Berryman trousers as well, I have worn on stage at some point.
Very cool. What are your favourite and least favourite of your own songs?
Ooh, that's harsh. have to be my own worst critic. I'd have to say my favourite song would be a song that isn't out yet, which also, I've got kind of two favourite songs currently, so, but they're both unreleased. But of songs that are out, I would probably have to say, that's so hard. I'd probably have to say Hate Me or Romantically Dead, because they were the songs that kind of really pushed my career forwards, and I'm very sentimentally attached to them because Hate Me is literally a Logic demo, and it got added to so many editorial lists. It really pushed me so much further than I ever thought I could go. And also Not Yours Never Was is a song that means a lot to me because I really feel like it made me realise the sound that I wanted it to achieve. And least favourite, that's so savage. I'd have to say probably a song I have called You're So Cruel, because not because it's like a bad song or anything, but just because it's very indie, and I feel like that was at a point in my life where I absolutely adore indie music, by the way, but that was at a point in my life where I kind of was going down a very different genre path, and I feel like it just doesn't really reflect my sound now. Sorry, You're So Cool. Love you, really.
What is your star sign?
Gemini. Yeah.
When's your birthday?
8th of June. Yeah.
No more to that question, really. I was just interested. What has been your most embarrassing moment?
Most embarrassing moment? I mean, kind of I wouldn't say it's embarrassing, but kind of a crazy moment was when I was on tour with Cassiette in February this year. The weather, like every single weather hit us while we were on the tour, and so we ordered a taxi the night before to take us to the station, and it didn't show up. So we were like, oh well, you know, a taxi will show up, and no taxi showed up. So the hotel were like, you're gonna have to walk. So they gave us this map, and they were like, this is where to go. And so we stepped outside, and there was a blizzard, but it was one of those kind of like almost like movie moments where when you look out the window you're like, it's not that bad. And then we literally stepped outside, and it started like absolutely, like I've never seen snow like it. The blizzard was, you could not even see. So if we're sitting here, I mean, the table would have been obscured from view. That's how much there was snow. So we were just walking around in this blizzard trying to find the train station, and this map just became like a sodden lump in like 2 seconds flat. So we were just like wandering around like with all our equipment, like, where do we go? And then in the distance we saw this like glowing light, and it was a taxi, like the one taxi that was working that day, and we started like shrieking like, please come. And yeah, then it pulled up and we got in, and yeah, so I would have to say that, because honestly, if I could have seen myself in that moment, I know I would have just been like absolutely covered in snow, like with all my equipment just looking like, yeah, I'd have to say that. I'll never forget it though, that's for sure.
And what is your karaoke song?
I've never played karaoke, I've never done karaoke, no.
What would you choose then if you were to?
I'd probably have to choose Shut Up and Drive by Rihanna.
That's an excellent choice.
Or maybe something like an older song, because I absolutely love 70s songs. So maybe Can the Can by Suzi Quatro, because I absolutely love Suzi Quatro, and she's been such a massive inspiration to me because she kind of really started it all, you know, as a female guitarist. And I've taken a lot of inspiration from her. Like, I've seen so many pictures of her just like up on stage doing her thing in her jumpsuits with her guitar, absolutely slaying. So maybe that. I'm sure that would be very interesting to witness, because it's not in my key.
And what do you order from Greg's?
I've never been to Greg's. No. I'm vegan.
Oh, okay.
So
they've got quite the range now for vegans.
But gluten-free as well.
I don't know.
I'd have to say probably something vegan and gluten-free then.
You can get a juice.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah.
And what are the best and worst parts about being a musician?
Okay, worst part 100% is all the waiting around. Like seriously, when you're at shows, there is a lot of waiting around, which obviously the audiences don't see because they just see you go straight out on stage. And I hope that someday I'll be able to be like big artists who literally turn up by private jet or helicopter a minute before they go on stage. They literally land and then just walk out on the stage. So currently I definitely have to say the waiting around and the travelling, especially with all the equipment, because I go everywhere by train, very eco-friendly. So I'd definitely have to say the travelling and the waiting around. And I'd say the best thing is just the way that your music affects people, in the sense that so many people, so many girls have like DM'd me and said that I've inspired them to pick up the guitar, and do I have any tips for learning? And also just like hearing anybody say that my music means a lot to them, means a lot to me. So I'd have to probably say that.
And finally, would you like to request a song for me to play on the show?
Does it have to be an introducing track, or can it be anything?
Absolutely anything that you want.
The thing is, I always have so many ideas for like songs, and then the second anyone asks me, I'm like, I'd have to say, can it be vintage, or does it have to be of the now?
It can be vintage. Yeah.
Okay. I'd have to say, can you play Them Bones by Alice in Chains?
Of course, we'll get that one for you. Alienblaze, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. And I look forward to your set later.
Thank you, it's been a pleasure talking to you.